On this channel, we talk a lot about why consulting is such an attractive career, from the steep learning curve to the great salary, all the way to the amazing exit opportunities. There's a lot to be liked about the job. But why then would anyone ever leave that amazing gig? In this video, we put together some of the top reasons why sooner or later almost everyone does. The first and by far most obvious reason is that the work-life balance in consulting sucks. Yeah, it's an exciting job and you get to advise major corporations on their most critical strategic questions. But working directly with C-level executives on such important topics usually comes with a lot of pressure. You can't just phone it in like many do in their cushy corporate jobs. You'll work long hours in an intense environment. We have an entire video discussing how much MBB consultants actually work. Now, for a couple of years that may be alright. Most people start their consulting career in their early 20s, right after graduating college. At that point, they're still young and super hungry. They usually don't have families yet, and their friends and significant other are also still focused on their careers. But after a couple of years grinding, for many, the lifestyle becomes unsustainable. Maybe they feel their learning curve isn't steep enough anymore to justify sacrificing so much of their time. Or they have an offer that promises a comparable salary in a bit more chilled environment. Or they simply have other priorities outside of work. This could be hobbies, travel, or starting a family. Totally normal once you hit your 30s. And let's be honest, balancing family life with an 80-hour job isn't ideal. Of course, consulting firms are trying to accommodate consultants with families. McKinsey, for example, offers preferred local staffing for parents, meaning they don't have to travel. There are also attempts to make the part-time consulting model happen, but that's easier said than done. So despite all these efforts, it's going to remain difficult to reconcile your consulting family with your actual family. And that's why many people leave after a couple of years in consulting. That doesn't mean they're going for a 9-to-5 job, twiddling their thumbs, but even just a corporate job with 50 to 60 hours per week is an improvement. And that's the main reason why many make the switch. The second major reason why they switch is travel. This one's closely related to work-life balance, but it's still worth highlighting. As a consultant, you usually travel a lot. You may spend up to 200 nights per year in hotels, depending on where your projects are. While you're young, this is all fun, especially if you get to see many different cities. Maybe not so much if you're stuck in Benton, Arkansas though. But usually, you don't get to see much of the city you're in. You spend almost every waking hour at the client, in the office, or in your hotel room in front of your laptop. Now don't get us wrong, it's kinda exciting as a young consultant if you can fly business class, stay at fancy hotels, or have team dinners at great restaurants. As someone who just left school, that's awesome. But this excitement wears off quickly. Traveling becomes more like a necessary part of the job, a chore. Yeah, it's a fancy commute, but it's still a commute, almost like riding the bus to work every day. Yes, you do collect a lot of loyalty points from Hilton or Hyatt and a ton of airline miles, but that's a small consolation. So that's bad enough, but now imagine you have a family. If you're away all week, there's no chance you get to pick up your kids from kindergarten or school. And that's what often requires a decision from those consultants in their early 30s, around project manager level. Do you still want to live that consultant lifestyle, or do you want to spend more time with your family? What ends up happening is that even those who love the traveling and the grind in consulting decide against it and put family first. The third reason people quit is the incredibly high pace in consulting. Yeah, you're gonna have some stressful phases in a corporate job as well, but in consulting it's more the rule than the exception. Clients will not hire consultants just for them to chill around for a couple of weeks. Projects, especially those of McKinsey, BCG and Bain, are usually time sensitive and of highest priority for C-level clients. So you have to make major progress every week to stay on track and within the deadlines. Imagine you're on a 6-week strategy sprint, helping a client define their global 2030 organic and inorganic growth strategy. In such a project, every day counts. The CEO wants to present his growth plan to the board members on an executive offsite, which is scheduled for next month. Wasting time for even just a day would cause you to fall behind schedule, and your lifestyle will become a nightmare while you're chasing the project deliverables from meeting to meeting. On the one hand, this high-pressure environment is what makes consulting such an interesting job with a steep learning curve. But on the other hand, it's a major reason why people leave. After a couple of years in this high-paced environment, many consultants simply want to reduce their stress levels. This is not only because they can't or don't want to handle the pressure anymore, but also because the high-pressure environment usually comes with long hours and being available more or less 24/7. The fourth reason people leave consulting is wanting to take more ownership. In consulting, you get to advise many of the leading companies, working with them on strategic initiatives or improving operations. The thing is just, as a consultant, you don't decide what actually gets implemented. And even if your suggestions do get implemented, you're probably long gone and on an entirely different project. So you only get to see the results of your recommendations in the rearview mirror, or maybe not at all. Which also means you're not the one ultimately responsible for anything. But at a certain point, many consultants want to not only advise clients, but also decide things, implement ideas, and bear responsibility. So they don't just want to talk the talk, but walk the walk. They want to be responsible for the impact of their initiatives on the profit and loss statement. So in essence, P&L ownership. This ownership can be achieved either by working for a corporate in a management role or by starting your own company. So ownership is an important reason to leave consulting, especially from the project manager position upwards. The fifth reason to quit is the desire to set up your own business. This point is closely linked to the previous point. Consultants are driven and always think about how a business can create or exploit an opportunity. It's just that they usually do it for a corporate client, which means they don't see any upside, apart from maybe making partner one day. And they don't actually get to create a business. Building something from scratch, a business that you have equity in, is something that excites a lot of consultants. So it's only natural that many move on to launch their own startups. The last reason why consultants quit is if they have no ambition to making partner. As a business analyst or an associate in consulting, all you have to do is do a good job on projects. And if you have a strong consulting toolkit and work on your development areas, you can usually make it to project manager. But then the dynamics shift a bit, where it's not enough to just do a good job day in and day out. At project manager level, you're confronted with the decision whether you want to go all in and try and make partner, which is not an easy feat. If you make that decision, most importantly, you have to refine your value proposition and find 2 or 3 core clients which enable you to have a constant flow of new projects. This usually requires a lot of grind. Being staffed on projects 100% as a project manager while working on client development on the side is tough. And on top of that, you also have to start working on additional topics to show the value you bring to a broader audience, internally and externally. This could be a new internal initiative you co-develop, or an industry analysis or a white paper that you help publish externally, or you appear as a speaker on conferences and panels. At this stage, the job definitely becomes more and more political. You have to clearly show your value to partners and senior partners to make sure they support your partner election. As you can see, this is a huge commitment and many aren't willing to make it. From project manager to making partner, it usually takes at least 4 years, with a junior partner level somewhere in the middle of that. That's why many project managers actively decide not to pursue the partner track. Instead, they stick around for another year or 2 while they're already exploring options on the outside. Project managers are also in the sweet spot where corporates are still willing to match their salary. If you exit as a junior partner, this is more difficult. For more on the salary progression from business analyst to senior partner, check out our video on the topic. So there you have it. These are the main reasons why people quit consulting. Some of them are related to working in a more laid-back setting and others to taking more ownership in the long run. But no matter why you quit, the MBB stamp of approval on your CV will set you up for great exit opportunities. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and activate the bell for more content like this. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions or if there's a topic you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for watching and we'll catch you in the next one.